Hi, and thank you for tuning into this episode. We are going to be opening a beautiful happy mail from Cassie from Texas, and we'll be journaling in two different journals, junk journals. And if you want to skip ahead to the journaling part, please go to minute 708 seconds, I think it was. Yeah, so I'm just unpacking her beautiful happy mail items, and I'm going to insert a page where she wrote what everything is and where she got it, rather than me talking through the whole thing because it's just too much. And that way you can just pause it if you're interested in any of the items to see where Cassie actually got them from. So I'll let you watch the opening, and I just want to mention that Cassie chose very particular items. A lot of these are from Texas and from her hometown and things that she's thrifted there. So very cool, happy mail, something different for me for sure. So yeah, see you back when we start the journaling.
Let me go.
Okay, so we're starting off working in Allison's beautiful journal again, and I'm starting by putting in this beautiful postcard, vintage postcard from 1942 from Longview, Texas, and I think that fits very nicely into Allison's journal actually. And underneath I'm going to be putting this, I guess it's an advertisement for a musical by Paul Green, and I thought I would just glue that in underneath. And I'm going to attach this postcard with some of the washi that Cassie sent, and it's a Tim Holtz washi. So beautiful. And I'm gonna also put another one on the other side because otherwise I feel that they don't hold well enough with just washi on one side. So there's a great flip out, sorry. And that's the first page. And on the second page, I think I'm gonna flip the page of the book. I'm gonna put one of these amazing Coca-Cola receipts. These are really cool, and I decided to go for this red one. And I'm just gonna staple that on there because that's something I usually don't do. And underneath, I decided to journal about my time at Coca-Cola. So I was working at Coca-Cola a few years back, but just for 3 months because I had a burnout after 3 months. It was an absolutely insane job. And I'm just journaling about that. And at the end, I'm just writing that I hope I will never have to have an office job again, so fingers crossed for that. And because this page was kind of dark because of my journaling, I wanted to brighten it up a bit. And these dolls are actually, I have been sent by lovely Bea. Thank you again, Bea. Bea is in France, and she emailed me these, and I think they are so cute. So I just printed them and cut them out, and I decided to put this one down on this page just to lighten the mood of the page a little bit. And I'm just adding some washi from Cassie just to kind of, I guess, ground her a little bit. And I chose her because I think she resembles me the most of what I might have looked like. And yeah, so that's why I went with her. And I thought what she was wearing was the most office appropriate. And I think she's even got like a folder or something in her hand. And then I just had to reinforce that part of the receipt where you could tear it off so that it wouldn't actually tear off. Now on the opposite side, I wanted to attach this cute little vintage photograph of this boy trying on a Texas hat. I love it. And so I wanted to also make a little collage on the side so that the page has a little more interest. And I'm using some of these tickets that Cassie included. And I also wanted to include one of her vintage US postage stamps. So I'm just checking here which one would work best with the spread, in my opinion. And I decided to go with that blue one. So now I am just gluing everything down, and I just cut out the actual glue bits. And I love that one ticket. I don't know if you've seen, it says something with Egyptian on there. So that is perfect because my husband is actually Egyptian. So I love having that in there. Thank you, Cassie. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if you knew that. So on the bottom of that, I wanted to use one of her hand-stamped labels. And what I wrote on there was, because this reminded me of my childhood, of my brothers. And I wrote, I loved when my brothers and I played cowboys and Indians when we were small. Because we did that a lot in a park that was by our apartment. And a very nice memory. So now I'm going to continue in my newly made junk journal. Again with the no-sew method, which has a flexible binding where you can take pages out and put some in, etc. If you want to watch that video of how I made it, I will link that below. And now I wanted to include this beautiful envelope that Cassie included. Looks like it was made from a children's encyclopedia or something like that. And so I just folded that over my page, and on that other side I made a tuck spot out of the flap. And now I'm going to include one of her original paintings. These are Cassie's paintings. They're amazing. And I chose the most colorful one for that page. And I wanted to put something inside the envelope. So I was going through her beautiful things again, and I found this piece of, I wanted to use the photo of it. It's a page from a vintage Texas almanac, and it was featuring photos of Cassie's city in Texas. So I wanted to include that, and so I cut that out. And I also wanted to include some of the text that was written above it, of the explanation of what the photo is. And then I decided to back it with some of that shiny cardstock that she attached, or that she included in her mail as well. So I just kind of cut it a little bigger than the photo to kind of frame it. And actually what it says here as a description is a home in Tyler with beautiful azaleas in bloom. Tyler sponsors an azaleas trail each spring. That has got to be gorgeous. I would love to see that trail in spring. So then I wanted to use my tab punch, which I have linked below, to just make a little tab to make it easier to pull out this beautiful vintage photo. So I just glued that on the top. And on the back, I'm also journaling about something about my childhood when we lived in the States for a while with my family. So I wrote, this picture reminds me of all the huge plantations of the South my parents took us to when we were kids. I was so impressed with the size of the gardens and the houses, not understanding any of the history that came with it. I also remember Mom making me wear a dress when I much rather ran around in pants like my brothers. Yeah, I still remember that day. I hated the dress that she made me wear. And so this was the letter and the list of contents. So I thought I would also just include that in the book, and I glued it down so that the position of that little cute bird on top would look like that bird is sitting right on top of that letter. So I think that worked out really well. So there you see that. I like that a lot, and I love the ledger paper that she used. Okay, next I wanted to use this vintage Liberty Bird fabric scrap, and I thought I would make that into a little pocket on a tag. So I'm just running my glue stick along those edges so that I could just glue that down on the 3 sides and leave an opening at the top. And now I'm just gonna cut the corners to make it into a tag shape by just flipping the one side around to have the exact same triangle on the other side. I think that's the easiest way if you don't have a template. And then I wanted to include this beautiful stamp of Marilyn Monroe, and it was too small. It would have just disappeared in the pocket. So I decided to use another one of her hand stamped labels, and I love these actually. I will have to ask her where she got that stamp from because it's so practical. So I wanted to just back it with one of these by making it also look like a tag. So I'm just cutting around that to kind of make a tag shape. And I'm just going to glue that on. Next, I'm going to make some holes, I believe, in both tags. So I'm making a small hole in the small tag and then flipping my We Are Memory Keepers crocodile around to make a big hole in the bigger tag. And I'm also going to be adding some twine, but first I wanted to add a hole reinforcer. These are metallic and I got these from Allison in her Happy Mail. And then I'm going to be attaching some blue and white twine that I thought went really well with the theme of this ticket. Yeah, so I don't remember where I have this from, probably from another Happy Mail. And I'm just gonna thread that through. It's too thick to tie a knot, so I just threaded it through like that, cutting it down a little bit. And then I thought I would attach it with this very cute envelope paper clip. And so I am just tying that around. And I'm going to choose a page where I think that tag will work well, which is this one. I love how those colors go together. Yep, really like that. Show you one more close-up of that. Really love that. And then I'm going to also attach her beautiful altered paper clip. For now, I'm just going to put it on this ledger paper because I think it works really well there with the colors. Love that. So I might put it somewhere else later, but for now, I just love having it there. And that's it for this time. So I hope you enjoyed watching me work in 2 different journals, and thank you again for watching. I post Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. If you don't want to miss any, then please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.